They were praised like heroes, worshipped like gods. But behind the statues, the books, and the legends, they had dark secrets, from betrayals and massacres to twisted obsessions. These are the 10 greatest leaders in history, and the disturbing truths they never wanted you to know. You've probably heard of Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan, and Napoleon. Their names are etched into history books forever. They built empires, changed the world, and shaped human history. But what if I told you that many of them also had dark sides they tried to keep hidden? This isn't the stuff you learned in school. We're going deep into the real stories, the victories, yes, but also the blood, the betrayals, and the secrets they carried to their graves. Number 10, Alexander the Great, the glory and the madness. Alexander conquered more land than almost anyone in history. By the time he was 30, he ruled from Greece to India. But here's what most people skip over. His obsession with power drove him to paranoia. He killed his own best friend Clytus during a drunken argument. Clytus had saved his life in battle twice. But Alexander didn't want to hear criticism. And when Clytus pushed back, Alexander snapped and ran him through with a spear. Some historians believe Alexander developed a god complex. He started dressing like a Persian king, demanded people bow to him, and called himself the son of Zeus. That's not leadership, that's delusion. Number 9, Winston Churchill, the war hero with a dark past. Churchill is remembered for standing up to Hitler and rallying Britain during its darkest hour. And yes, his speeches were legendary. But here's what they don't teach you in school. Churchill's decisions led to the Bengal famine of 1943, where over 3 million people died in India. Food was available, but Churchill diverted it to British troops and stockpiles, blaming Indians for breeding like rabbits. He called Gandhi a half-naked fakir and opposed Indian independence for years. So while he helped save Europe, his choices caused devastation elsewhere. Number 8, Julius Caesar, the genius who betrayed a republic. Caesar was a military genius. He expanded the Roman Empire, defeated rivals, and became dictator. But the way he did it? Ruthless. He crossed the Rubicon River with his army, knowing it would spark civil war. He ignored the Roman Senate, destroyed political norms, and concentrated power in his own hands. He even used the calendar to manipulate time, literally. That's where we get July from, Julius. His ego rewrote time itself. Eventually, even his friends couldn't take it. Brutus, yes, that Brutus, stabbed him to death on the Senate floor. Why? Because Caesar had become the very tyrant he once swore to fight. Number 7, Napoleon Bonaparte, the reformer who brought back slavery. Napoleon rose from nothing. He brought order to post-revolutionary France, created laws are still used today. But here's the dark part. In 1802, he reinstated slavery in French colonies. It had been abolished after the French Revolution. Napoleon brought it back to squeeze more profits from sugar plantations. Tens of thousands of black people were re-enslaved. And when the people of Haiti resisted, he sent troops to crush them. He called himself Emperor of the French, crowned himself, and invaded most of Europe. His wars killed millions. He wasn't just a leader, he was an empire builder and a destroyer. Number 6, Abraham Lincoln, the savior of the Union, and the Constitution bender. Lincoln was a hero who ended slavery and preserved the Union. That's not up for debate. But few talk about what he had to do to get there. During the Civil War, Lincoln suspended habeas corpus, basically the right to a fair trial. He had thousands of people arrested without charges. Newspapers were shut down. Dissenters jailed. Was it necessary? Maybe. But it shows how even great leaders will bend the rules, sometimes break them, to get through a crisis. Lincoln freed millions, but also ruled with an iron grip when needed. Number 5, Genghis Khan, the builder of a brutal empire. Genghis Khan united warring tribes and built the largest land empire in history. He connected Asia and Europe through trade, law, and tolerance. But at what cost? He killed over 40 million people during his conquests. Entire cities were wiped out. Men, women, children, no one was spared. In some battles, his armies stacked pyramids of skulls. Some historians estimate he reduced the world's population by 11%. He changed the world, but through rivers of blood. Number 4. Queen Elizabeth Marr. The Virgin Queen with bloody hands. Elizabeth is seen as one of England's greatest monarchs. She beat the Spanish Armada, ruled for 45 years, and brought stability. But she also executed hundreds of people, often for political reasons. She signed the death warrant for her own cousin, Mary, Queen of Scots. Why? Because Mary had a claim to the throne. She also launched brutal campaigns in Ireland, leading to massacres and starvation. She built an empire, but it started with suppression. Number 3. Joseph Stalin, the man who beat Hitler and killed millions. Stalin led the USSR through World War II and helped defeat the Nazis, but his internal policies killed far more people than Hitler's war ever did. Through forced famines, purges, and labor camps, Stalin was responsible for the deaths of over 20 million Soviet citizens. He turned paranoia into policy, executing even his closest allies. You could be sent to Siberia for a joke. Literally, he helped shape the modern world. But he did it through fear, terror, and death. Number 2. Mao Zedong, the revolution that starved a nation. Mao led China's communist revolution and made it a global power. But his great leap forward was one of the deadliest man-made disasters in history. In just 4 years, over 30 million people starved to death due to his failed farming policies and forced labor. And during the Cultural Revolution, he encouraged kids to turn against teachers, parents, and scholars. History books, temples, and art were destroyed. Ruined. Mao is still celebrated in China, but behind that portrait in Tiananmen Square is a river of pain. Number 1. Adolf Hitler, the dictator who lied his way to power. We all know the horrors of Hitler's rule. But how did he get there? That's the real warning. He didn't take power through war. He was elected. He used economic fear and nationalism to win hearts. Then he banned opposition, burned books, and spread lies through propaganda. He started a war that killed over 70 million people, committed genocide, and left Europe in ruins. And yet, to many Germans at the time, he looked like a savior. That's the danger of blind trust in any leader. So what does this all mean? It's simple. Greatness and darkness often walk side by side. The same minds that build civilizations can also destroy them. These leaders weren't superheroes. They were human, flawed, ambitious, and sometimes terrifying. We remember their victories. But history is more honest when we also remember their mistakes. Leadership is complicated, and history is full of stories we'd rather not face. But if we only tell half the story, we miss the real lessons. Power always comes at a cost. The question is, who pays for it? Some of these leaders made the world better, some made it worse, and some did both at the same time. If you want the truth behind more historical legends, watch the next video.